Have you ever wondered why the alphabet is the first thing we are taught when we start to learn a new language? Why did our teachers, why did our parents make us cram it in our childhood days? Before we look for an answer to that question, let's give a minute to talking about alphabets. An alphabet is a set of letters, and words are made up of letters. Just imagine if there were no letters, there were no words, and if there were no words, how on earth you would be able to communicate? There would be no way of communicating. If it were not for alphabets, languages wouldn't exist at all in the first place. Whatever the language, be it Hindi, Urdu, Punjabi, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, English, German, French, Danish, Spanish, Russian, Portuguese, Japanese, Chinese, whatever the language, the prerequisite does not alter, and that is the alphabet. Since you are going to start on your journey towards the English language from this day onwards, you need to know the English alphabet. And I believe without a shadow of doubt that you already know the English alphabet. And this very thing makes you one big step closer towards learning English. Congratulations, give yourself a pat. As you know, the English alphabet we know today has 26 letters, and it is with these 26 letters that the entire English is made. So after talking about alphabets and letters, let us talk about words. What are words? When we put together letters in a certain and particular order, we get a word. Remember, when we put together letters in a particular order and certain order, then we get a word. We may put words in different orders, then we may not be getting a word. We will be getting a group of letters, but those group of letters may not be making any sense. So we get a word when we put together letters in a particular and certain order. This is how we get a word. The English language today has over 170,000 words in it, with new words being added every year. Where do these new words come from? Think about it. Today the technology is evolving. As medical sciences evolve, as technology evolves, as progress is made in different fields of life, new words come from there. And for example, when different languages mix up, for example, today the English language has some words from the Sanskrit language, even from one or two words from Hindi language. So this is how the vocabulary of a language enriches. And so now, after having had a little chat about alphabets, letters and words, let's come to the real question. How do we learn a language? How do we learn the English language? How do we learn a language which is not our mother tongue? How do we go about it? Where do we start from? Think about this. How did we learn our mother tongue? Why we are so good at it? How did we do it? Answers to these questions are very obvious. We are in touch with our mother tongue since we were born. We are immersed in this language right from our childhood. Our relationship with our mother tongue is so profound. For example, my mother tongue is Hindi. I am immersed in this language since I was born. So our relationship with our mother tongue is so intimate. We are in a very intimate relationship with our mother tongue. We are immersed in it. This is how we get so good at our mother tongue. This is how we did it. But what about a language which is not our mother tongue? What about the English language which is not your mother tongue? How do we do it? How do we learn this language? Is there a method? Is there a way which can help us do the same process faster? The process of learning a second language, a language which is not our native language. How do we do it? Is there a method? Is there a way? The answer is yes. We had a method named grammar. Yes, grammar. Grammar is the method. Was grammar given to us by gods up above? Did they give us grammar as a method to learn languages? And by the way, this reminds me of an interesting question. Where did languages come from? But that is a different question. We are not going into those details. How did languages evolve? But let's keep to the point. We were talking about grammar. Was grammar given to us by gods? No, grammar wasn't given to us by gods. There has always been the need for learning different languages for people. For example, today English carries a significant importance, so we are learning it. Even in India, even in our country, a lot of people, millions of people are learning English in colleges, in schools, in everywhere. So, and the same is happening with the other languages. Suppose somebody wants to come to India, they want to learn Hindi and other languages, Tamil, Telugu. So there is always the need for learning one language or another. And this has been the case since time immemorial. So the people in the past, our ancestors, and I better call them grammarians, came this way of discovered a few things so that people can learn a language, better, in a better manner, faster. So this method eventually came to be known as grammar. They put together in a book and asked people, okay, you want to learn a language? Go and follow that book, and this is how, and you will be able to learn the language. So this is how grammar evolved. This is how grammar as a book, as a concept came into existence. So what is grammar? Grammar teaches us how to put words in sentences so that the sentence is meaningful. Grammar teaches us what sentences mean. This is what grammar tells us. So grammar is the study of how words can be put together in a sentence so that the sentence is meaningful. Remember, grammar is the study of how words can be put together in a sentence so that it is meaningful. So, what is the importance of grammar? There is no point in learning grammar for the sake of learning grammar. Grammar gives a better and deeper understanding of a language. We learn grammar because it is useful. We just can't do without it. Grammar gives an insight into the language. If our grammar is strong, the grasp at language will certainly be strong. Once your grammar is strong, once you have a better understanding of basic grammar of any language, the language will be yours. There is no test. There is, I know you might be preparing for some exams. You might also want to improve your language, improve your English. Believe me, brother, believe me. If your grammar is strong, once you have a better grasp at grammar, your basic grammar is solid, then your language will be strong. There is no test on earth or heaven that you will not be passing. You will be successful in your every test that you will be taking. So this is the significance of grammar. There is more to grammar than just find errors and correctness. Grammar gives you a better and deeper understanding of the language. And unless you know grammar, you cannot express yourself confidently and fully in a manner which is satisfactory, in a manner which is, testimony to the fact that you have a better command of the language. I cannot imagine learning a language I cannot imagine learning a language without first learning its grammar. I know there might be some people who can say that grammar is not the only way we can learn a language. So they are right, but it's gonna take a lifetime to learn that language. There are many ways to learn a language, just by hearing, just by being with people who know the language, but that is not a good way. That is gonna take a lot of time. So this is the significance of grammar that you should know when you are preparing for an examination, when you are preparing for a test. An examination, in fact, wants to test your command of the language. They want to know if you understand the language well enough. They only want to check your understanding of the language. They want to check your ability to know the language. They want to know, does a candidate know the language? This is what they want to check. And this is what you have to do too. You have to make yourself better in a language, so that the day you know that I know the language, I can read a paragraph well, I can understand it, I can speak a language. The day you have developed that capability, you should know that you can pass any test. You can pass a test. So this is what the significance of grammar is. Since grammar deals with words, as I said in the beginning, that grammar is the study of words and how the words can be put together in a sentence. I'm coming to that fact again. Grammar is the study of words and how they can be put together in sentences. So let us commence our starting point, our beginning with those words. Words. What are words? And as I have already said that there are over 170,000 words in the English language. So all the words that are there in the English dictionary, there are too many words. I mean, there are a lot of words in the English dictionary, and the entire English language is made up of these words. And this is why the English vocabulary, the English language vocabulary is so rich. So, having talked about words, we'll start our journey of the learning English grammar with words. All the words that are there in English dictionary, in any English dictionary, can be divided into 9 parts. All the words that are there in any English dictionary can be divided into 9 parts. Remember, 9 parts. All the words that are there. If you pick up a word, we pick up a random word from any random dictionary, that word is bound to be any one of those 9 categories. Just 9. There are all the words that are there in an English dictionary can be divided into 9 categories, and any random word from a street, any word that you look anywhere, can be just one of those categories, can belong to any one of those categories. Since now you know words very well. You know words now, don't you? You know words. Words are made up of letters. Since you know words, that's why I'm talking about how many types of words are there in dictionary. So as I said a moment ago, that all the words, you know words very well now. You have no doubt about words. So all the words that are there in a dictionary can be divided into 9 types, into 9 parts. Whatever the word you use, words, types or parts. So all the words that are there in an English dictionary can be divided into 9 types. For example, let me take a word play. The word play is bound to be, has to belong to any one of those parts, any one of those 9 parts. So all the words that are there in an English dictionary can be divided into 9 types, 9 parts. And those types and those parts are referred to as types of words, parts of speech. The same 9 types of words, the same 9 parts of speech, they are referred to as parts of speech, word classes by various different names. So those 9 types are referred to as parts of speech. And as I'm repeating myself, all the words that are there in an English dictionary can be divided into 9 types, just 9 types. And these are those 9 types. They are called parts of speech. They are part of an English dictionary. Noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection, and article. These are the 9 types. All the words that are there in an English dictionary can be divided into these 9 types. I have said it enough times, and I guess that the word 9, this entire thing has become a part of your memory now. I don't feel the need to emphasize it more. So, since I said that language is made up of words, if there were no words, we would have no way of communicating. So, since other words of a language, English language, are divided into these 9 categories, so once you have a better understanding of these words, once you have better understanding, better and deeper, good understanding of these words, you will have already mastered the basics of the language, basics of the English language, to be honest. So, you have to know these parts of speech, these types of words very well. There are 9 types, starting with noun, pronoun, adjective, and right till the article. So these types of words has to be known to you very, very well, because they are the basics of the language. And as I have said, language is made up of words. So once you know once you know the character of those words, once you know the behavior of those words, once you know the quality of those words, your starting base work, your foundation will be strong of the language. So we will start with knowing these types of words. The first one is noun, the second one is pronoun, the third one is adjective. There is no proper order, you can put them in any order. There can be adjective, so I have written it just for the sake of convenience. So all the words that are there in an English dictionary can be divided into these 9 types, because in language is made up of words. So we have to know the words first before we come to higher levels of grammatical complexities. we have to know the basics, and basics are words, because these are the words that the language is made up of. So, and one more thing I would like to tell before I come to this these types of words, and the thing is sentence. What is sentence? What is sentence? A sentence is made up of words. As words are made up of letters, in the same way, a sentence is made up of words. For example, this is a sentence. He is a good boy. It's a sentence. This is made up of words. He is a word. Is a word. A is a word. Good is a word, and boy is a word. So, before I begin with these things, I just wanted to tell you about sentences. So sentences are made up of words, and words are made up of letters, and language is made up of words. So that's why I am emphasizing enough on this fact that what are words, what are the types of words. Once you have a good command over words, you will have a good command over the language. This is what I am trying to convey. These parts of the speech are very significant things. Don't underestimate these things. I know there are many learners of English, many beginners, many students downplay their importance. They tend not to take them seriously. But believe me, if you in the beginning, if you have a good command over these parts of speech, then your foundation will be very solid. You will have a very concrete foundation. So this is something that you should not take lightly, and you should take them very, very seriously. So the first part of speech is noun. The second one is pronoun, the third one is adjective, and the fourth one is verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection, article. Don't do anything. Just master these types of words. For example, let's take adjective. Find out what an adjective is. If you master the qualities of what is the behavior of adjectives, the same you have to do with every part of every type of words. So don't do anything. Just in the beginning, just master these words, these kinds of words. Believe me, your English will show a significant improvement within 2 days, within 3 days. You will have a solid foundation of grammar. So the first type of words is noun. Noun is one of the most important parts of speech. If not the most important. In the next video, I will be explaining these things in a very detailed manner. I'll begin with nouns, and then I'll go on explaining the rest of the remaining parts of speech. So it is that this is all in this video, and in the next video I'll be explaining parts of speech in a very interesting and exciting manner.